Hello and welcome to the Live Coding Afternoon Tea. I'm Travis Toulson. Today we are continuing the development work on our C3 profile troubleshooting agent. Last time we improved the performance by switching from a bunch of the record operation tools in the agent to using instead a script tool. So now that we've got things sped up a little bit, I want to get back to the troubleshooting aspect and really spend some time working on the prompt to get the desired result out of it that we've been hoping for. Now, we've gotten some troubleshooting capabilities in the past, but it was inconsistent. Sometimes it would skip over. Basically, I was trying to give the AI too much leeway to figure out what the problem was. This time around, I'm going to give it more prescriptive steps to say, okay, handle fixing the roles, handle fixing this. And we're going to see if we can get to a better place with this tool to where you can basically just drop in the profile's email and have the AI figure out what's wrong and fix it. So that was the original idea, and hopefully we're going to bring that to life today. Or at least get a whole lot closer. So with that, let's get a little music going. And then we will get to work. All right. Let's pull up our AI Agent Studio. All right, and let's pull up our profile troubleshooting agent. All right, so as of right now, our prompt is asking for user input, gathering the data, understanding the documentation, and it is doing the analysis portion of this. But it doesn't quite know how to fix things yet. So, let's see. Analyze the collected records to determine if the profile is in a valid state. Step 7, if the profile is not valid, identify missing or incorrect data in the associated records. And then determine the minimal number of actions to return. So this is the step that I think I'm going to end up removing. So one of the things with AI prompts and why, let's step back to number 7 real quick. One of the things with AI prompts is that sometimes you will get better results out of it if you give it a specific step to think about what its next action will be. So in step 7, I'm saying if the profile is not valid, identify the missing or incorrect data in the associated records. So I'm giving it a chance to think about what's wrong with these particular records. This step 8 is where it gets kind of dicey. This is where it gets a little disconnected and the AI doesn't quite give us the result that we're looking for. It gets a little confused. We're also going to have to add some tools to this, but let's go ahead and get rid of step 8. We're going to create a new section 4. And we'll change old section 4 to section 5. I will put a step 8 in here so I've told it to identify the missing or incorrect data in the associated records. I'm going to throw a step in here. Now let's leave this one out for now. Let's see if we can solve it without any extra contemplation steps. All right, so add any actually, hold on a second. Instead of adding any necessary roles, I'm actually going to take a different approach on this one. Let's do actually, now that I think, I'm really struggling with this one. So initially, I have a script elsewhere in the application that will basically run a repair script that I might be able to use. In fact, let's save that real quick. I'm going to open up configure UI actions. There it is. Oof, I'm blind. So I've got this UI action fix user roles, and it already contains a script that will automatically repair the roles. So I'm wondering if I can make use of this to get the desired result. So we've got a glide query because of cross-scope privileges. All right, so basically, there are some differences in this particular script from what I would have elsewhere. Excuse me. Today I am drinking a mint tea. So I have brought my tea to Live Coding Afternoon Tea. So one thing that is unique here, as I'm looking at this script, within the UI action script, I have access to glide records, this current.state.toString. That is something that I have access to. Same with current.user.toString. Now, my first inclination was to dump this into a script include so that I could reuse it in both the AI agent and in the UI action, and just use the exact same script in both, reused, so I don't have to worry about it. But AI agents don't have access to the glide records. We're actually passing in JSON properties. So I'm going to have to think about this a little bit differently. And I think I can still use a script include for it, though. Hey there, Aman. How's it going? All right, so let's create a C3 troubleshooting script include so that I can extract this UI action out. All right, so now I've got my UI action in here, but as I said before, I'm going to have to strip out the current.user.toString UI actions have access to the glide record, but AI agents don't. So, excuse me, sorry. So what I need to do is I need to pass these values in so that I can reuse the same script include on both. So here's what we're going to do. I need the user sysid, and I need the profile state. All right. So if I pass these two values in, then I can take advantage of the glide record access in the UI action without impairing the AI agent's capabilities. So we'll dump this in here. And then this one should be profile state. Okay. Save this. All right. Oops, there was one thing I need to change. I need to get rid of that action.set redirect because that's not available in AI agents either. Hello, hello, LinkedIn user. That's one of the downsides of the LinkedIn integration is it just says LinkedIn user. I don't actually get to see who it is on the other side. So let me know who you are in chat. And hello, Ben. Welcome. All right. So over here, let equal to new C3 troubleshooting scripts troubleshooter dot fix roles, and we're going to go current dot user dot toString and current dot state dot toString. All right, so that should allow me to eliminate all of this. Doing well, and my mint tea today is fantastic. As is my team's record right now. All right, so that should fix that. Update. Let me go back real quick, and I'm going to grab that script because we're going to reuse it elsewhere. All right, so now that I've got my script include set up, let's go back to our AI agent. So one of the things I was running into the last time we tried this was that it wasn't actually creating the role records the way that I wanted it to. And we've run into different issues with some of the variable binding and, you know, just I felt a lot better with the script tools that I used last time to speed up the AI agent. So where possible, I'm going to see if I can more effectively leverage those script tools. After all, I am a pro coder at heart. I feel most comfortable in scripting, but I still want to be able to take advantage of all the powers that come with AI agents. So I feel like the script tool is a really great bridge for those two things. All right, so we've got our fixed profile step for repair of the roles. Now we need to create that tool, so let's go to script. fix the profile user's roles. This tool will automatically repair the roles for a profile. All right, we're going to need 2 inputs. Oops. There we go. All right. It doesn't like my let in here, so we'll change that to a var. All right, so we need user sysid and state. Let's call this profile state. So one thing to remember is that the input names are really important for the LLM to understand what's going on. You can also use the description to describe to the LLM how to use it. So I'll add a little bit of extra context. The user sysid related to the profile record. The state the profile is in. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe I'm going to be a little bit more prescriptive here. When I return my JSON object from our previous script tool, it included, in many cases, the value and the display value for a particular field. And I don't know if that's going... In fact, you know what? Let's not put the value for the start. Let's see if the AI agent infers correctly how to set it up. If not, we can come back here and add value later. So then I need to change down here to input dot user sys ID, and over here I need to put profile state. Oops, input.profile state. All right, so this is going to let us bind those inputs into our script and execute them. For now, I'm going to return a really dumb result. Or not searched. Attempted to fix the roles, and I misspelled it. Attempted to fix the roles, not sure if it worked or not. So right now I'm not really returning a result from the fix roles function. So ideally, I think I would return to the AI an object that contained a result of whether it worked or not. Was it successful or not? This is purely hypothetical. I have no idea because, like, so far I've only used the script tool to retrieve information. I have not used it to fix information or update records. So we'll see how this goes. I will put it in supervised mode for now. We will display output. Okay, let's add that tool. Save and continue, save and continue, save and test. And I do need to pull up Bob. think I might have the wrong update set selected too. That's sad. All right, so for profile roles, I'm going to rip out the current roles. Yes, there will be a recording of this session on the ServiceNow Dev Program YouTube channel. So it will be out there and available, as are all previous episodes of Live Coding Afternoon Tea and our other live coding series as well. So you can check it out there. And also, I tend to try to carve up some of the important takeaways from these, and I try to create shorts and post those on LinkedIn and also the ServiceNow Dev Program's YouTube shorts. So you can look for those as well. Hello, hello, and welcome. There, ServiceNow expert. All right, so I have removed the roles from Bob the Builder. So his profile is now in a broken state. And so Bob at thebuilder.com, start. And let's kick back and see what the agent comes up with. Hey there, welcome. One of the downsides to drinking tea during something like AI agents is I tend to get a little bit excitable. It's just a matter of time before I end up spitting this out on my screen or something. Okay, it's got the profile record. It's running a little slow today. I am ready to repair the roles for the user associated with this profile to ensure it meets the required standards. Is it okay to proceed? So that's the supervised version of the tool, where it will ask me before it does anything. Everything is content now. Very, very apt. All right. Can I play in my PDI? I'm going to get to this one in just a second. All right. The automated tool to repair the user's profile is in a pending review state. Failed with a reference error. Please assist manually repairing the roles for the user with sysid. Failed with a reference error. All right, so usually I can go through here and see what the cause was. General knowledge. Profile related for Bob the Builder. Line 5 reference error. Okay. All right. So before I go diving into troubleshooting this tool, let's answer the can I play in my PDI? Not yet. Currently, the AI tools are not enabled in PDIs. We are certainly working to try to make AI tools available to as many people as possible, as quickly as we can. Now, some of the ways that you can play with this, though, is that there are some labs on ServiceNow University. In fact, there's a really good lab on AI agents that actually I will be doing a walkthrough of in an upcoming event series that we will be doing in November. So if you check out some of the labs on ServiceNow University, some of them do relate to AI agents, and you can request a lab instance, and those lab instances will have AI agents and the AI tools enabled on them. That is one of the best ways to get access to these tools now, to be able to play with them and see how they work. Goran, long time no see. Let's see, should the script use input or inputs? Let's go back and look. And that was a line 5 error. Goran for the win. Me and my typos. See, and this is why I need the Now Assist code generation in this box here, because it will save me from myself when I'm not on stream to have you guys backing me up. Let's see. All right, let's try this one again. Bob at thebuilder.com. Run it. And while that is running, I'll kind of jump over here real quick, because we know the AI agent's going to take a minute. Yeah, well, you don't have to log in right now. All right, let's pull this off real quick. Yes. I mean, that's why like pair programming works, isn't it? You get one person that's you know, looking over your shoulder and watching for the mistakes, and the other person making the mistakes. And honestly, that's one of the ways I've kind of started thinking about how code generation operates. Is it's and this came from a conversation I was having on LinkedIn, that in a lot of ways having that AI code assist is a lot like pair programming, just with the other person being automated. Okay, so this is the course that I was talking about, is this AI agents build an AI agent. This one will walk you through the steps and get you acquainted with it. And I believe that one has the AI enabled instance for it. So that's a really good one to check out. That guy. All right, there was another one. All right, so let's see. Yes, repair those roles. We got a result. All right, I'm gonna beat him to the punch. Did it work? Oh my gosh, that worked. Okay, so Bob the Builder now has the player and the with avatar role. So now let's simulate a slightly different version of the issue, where he has the wrong role. I think it's without. Come back, Bob. All right. Yeah, all right. So he obviously has an avatar, so he should have the with avatar role. But in this case, for whatever reason, he doesn't. So we're going to try this test one more time. And then I got one more test for it, and then we'll move on from the roles. And we are actually gearing up for World Forum London right now. So next week will be World Forum London. We'll have Laszlo and Lauren out there, and they will be the ones operating CreatorCon C3. So I'm really trying to get this buttoned in for them for next week. Now, of course, they've got UI actions, and I've equipped them with all the manual processes, but how cool would it be for them to just be able to type in someone's name and let an AI agent fix it? Planning next steps, repairing. Okay, so we ran the fix. And it deleted without avatar and created with avatar. All right, simulating one more scenario. With avatar, without avatar, player. So now he's got all three roles, and that should not happen. But sometimes does. Sometimes you'll be messing with the profile and you'll accidentally grant a role and it breaks things, so these things happen. If it can fix this scenario, then it fixes all of the role scenarios. I still wish it were faster. I still wish it were faster. But on the flip side, if I can associate this troubleshooter with some triggers in the background, I could have this running proactively potentially. So that's something I can consider as well. Okay, yes, run it. It is repairing. It has repaired. We have with avatar and player. Okay, so it is now fixing the roles. And then we get the summary. C3 profile. The profile was analyzed and found to be in pending review state. The user had both with avatar and without avatar roles, which is not permitted in this state. An attempt was made to repair the roles to comply with the document requirements. The outcome of this repair is uncertain. Okay, so this output here is specifically because, if you remember in my result payload that I passed back from the tool, I indicated that I wasn't sure if it was actually fixed or not. So the LLM took me literally on that, and it was like, hey, I don't know if this worked. But that's really positive because that means that we can provide feedback on whether our script executions work. We can provide that feedback back to the LLM, who can then report it back to the person. This is so daggone cool. Recommendation, please Recommendation, please verify the roles on the profile. Only player and player with avatar should be present for the pending review state. I can't. My UI scripts are good. Like, I'm happy with the UI scripts that I have fixing things, for fixing records and detecting when there's a problem. The UI scripts I wrote can't do this mess, not as easily. Like, I could provide feedback in like an info message, I guess, but like for it to have automatically made that recommendation, like I didn't tell it. I did not give it that information. Like, I can't think of anything I put in the prompt that like was specific enough to tell it how, like, what they should do. So this is cool. I am glad that it is giving a technician using this tool an indication of how to verify. Of course, we'll try to make it so that it doesn't need to be verified manually, because that's the ideal state. But I'm very amused at what this is doing. And it provides us a link to the profile. All right, I've had a couple questions come in. Let's see. Which LLM are you using? I'm using the Now LLM. So I'm not using any of the larger outsourced models. And if there's information more specific than that, I am not educated enough yet on ServiceNow's LLM to be able to give you that information. What is the bottleneck that keeps it from running faster? That's a really good question. A lot of it comes down to the language processing and the orchestrator routing different questions to the correct tools. The scripts actually execute very quickly. It is a lot of the thinking that occurs. So if I expand this, well, that tool took a while. Is that my search? Yeah. Okay, so my script to search is running 22 seconds. So that's a little on the long side, but to be fair, it's gathering a bunch of glide records and converting all of those to a JSON payload, and then that JSON payload has to be processed and interpreted. So a lot of my time is coming down to this particular script tool. So maybe there's some stuff we can improve in that script. That's something I can consider for later. So yeah, it's getting the profile record, the user record, the roles, the photo submissions, the generated images, the QR codes, and the knowledge base documentation. So that one's taken 22 seconds to run. But then you see all these little ones. All these little ones add up. And all of these React Engine is really just the orchestrator contemplating what action to perform next. So you've got 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds. So basically, every time you reach a numbered step in your prompt, it's going to have to run this AIA React Engine in order to figure out what to do next or how to handle that step. And each of those tend to add up. So the longer your agent is, the more time it will take to complete. And I suspect that this is where the power of agentic workflows come in, is that you can make smaller, more prescriptive AI agents and then relinquish the flow logic up to your agentic workflow and maybe cut down on the total number of steps that actually has to be executed by your orchestrator in the process. That's my suspicion, but I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. All right, so let's get back to our troubleshooter tool. Now, the next thing I want to do is Did you find out about running things in parallel? Not yet. I have not gotten an answer on that one just yet. But I'm definitely going to be getting an answer on that and some other things. We've got some sessions talking to some of our AI folks behind the scenes. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about how the inner workings of this works so that I can bring that information to you guys. Update the profile fields with the correct values. So you'll notice if you watched the previous episode where we were doing the different troubleshooting or the different fix scripts essentially, you'll notice that I was much more generic in the instructions that I gave the prompt. I was pretty much like, hey, fix it. And that tended to create issues where it would just skip over fixing certain things. Like it would fix the first thing that it came across and then it would say, okay, I'm done. This time around, I'm going to be a little bit more prescriptive in the troubleshooting steps that or in the fixing scripts that I want, so that hopefully it will execute each of them and give us the desired result. Oop, save. Okay, so now we need to give it another tool again. For this one, I think I'm going to go back to record operation because that actually worked really well last time. The profile record fields. This tool allows updating the profile record fields in order to put it back in a valid state. Okay, now let's think about what fields. Active current event. Active current event. I know those were the two big ones we wanted, and probably state as well. Honestly, I'm not going to put a description on these because each of these inputs is named after the field on the record. And so the LLM has been really good at mapping those fields correctly. I just had a realization. Earlier, I had talked about whether or not we would need to include the term value in order to distinguish between the value and the display value on the JSON object that we returned. And we did not. The LLM knew which of those fields to use. Although it's possible that it chose either one, because in most of the cases that we've done so far, the value and display value would have been the same. Maybe we'll get a better picture on this one, I'm not sure. But it seems like it's selecting the correct values. Like, I'm not having to actually specify dot-walked values going down the object. Like, it's intuiting fairly effectively which fields to pluck out. Which honestly is kind of cool. Table, profile, operation is going to be update. Oh, that's another thing we need, is profile sysid. All right, so for conditions, our sysid, yeah, there we go. Sysid is double curly braces for the variable binding. profile sysid. All right, so there's our query condition. And then we want to set active data pill. It still makes me mad how long it took me to figure out the double curly braces. Current event. Oops. State. Okay. We'll do that one supervised. Add that tool. Bob at thebuilder.com. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna inactivate him on both of those fields. I am also going to re-break his roles again. And this is what we had a problem with last time. When there was 2 different fixes that needed to be applied, the LLM would stop at the first fix. We need both the profile record updated and we need the roles fixed. Now that I'm being more explicit about the steps to take, I suspect that it is going to be better about it. Retrieving profile data. I wonder if I could continue developing the AI agent while it was running on this side, or if that would be a bad thing. Because that would be cool. If you've got a long-running agent and you're like, okay, let me execute this test and then go work on some other part of it. Please analyze the profile and all related records for compare the current state and fields of the profile, user roles, and submissions. It looks like it was not happy. Did it fix the roles? Because I did not notice that one. It did not fix the roles either. That's strange. Please analyze the profile and all. Just on a goof. You have this info. That's strange. I don't know what's going on that one. Let's take a look at our prompt. Consider what changes need to be made to fix the profile. Let's add that thought step in there. Just to see. Okay, it's retrieving profile data. Okay, get the profile. Okay. Planning next steps. So it's got the data. Okay, it's ready to repair the roles. Yes. Yes. Okay, so it has done all of its updates. Close. Close. It got the active field. It missed the current event field. Okay. So back to our prompt engineering again. Consider do not overlook any changes. Now, you must find all the changes that need to be made. So with prompt engineering, one of the things that can help is being more explicit that something must be accomplished, that some goal must be handled. Using that level of emphasis can basically convince the LLM to take steps that it would otherwise not take. You must set all of the inputs. Inputs for the tool. Let's see if that gets us closer. Let's go break Bob. it's been really interesting to see what different things work and what things don't work as well when it comes to setting up these AI agents. There have been times, like with the role fixing, where the script tool has just been the best option. When you have complicated, multi-step, linear, well-defined processes. You could also use flow, subflows, and actions. But I am definitely seeing where there is a balance between the traditional pro code tools that we know and love and AI agents. There are certain things that it is best to build out those steps that you want manually in traditional code tools. Or I guess technically now with build agents, they can help you build it. But either way, having those prescriptive steps hard-coded in have a huge benefit for the overall process. So you really want to draw a line between the structured logic that you need to be perfectly repeatable versus the more abstract logic, the fuzzier logic that you would want to have placed in the hands of the LLM. Yeah, this is a really great point. Trying to decide if I should do it as a flow action instead of just a script, so I in the future can easier use the functionality in flow. This is one thing that has been a very hard habit for me to break, because I go to the script tools first. I go to the script blocks. But realistically, especially in C3, one of the things that I have found is that as applications get more complicated, the superpowers that you get when you combine flow designer, flow actions, playbooks, the way that those things build on top of each other to basically give you the low ground level view, and then you build on top and you've got, okay, this is a singular process. And then, okay, now you have like the business orchestration process around it. The visibility that you get in that top-down view is just unmatched when you're writing it in scripts. There's so much of C3 that I now wish I had done in Flow Designer. I would have been better off for it. And in some of the tools that I am getting ready to build, I am committing to myself that I am going to build in Flow Designer first. And that's not to say that like there's not still a place for script includes and scripts. It's just to say that a lot of the time I frequently end up having regrets at having not built things in Flow Designer. And I have very seldomly had regrets for building something in Flow Designer where I've been like, oh man, you know, I really wish I had built this as a script. And even when I have those regrets, like, it's really easy to reverse course, make a flow action, drop my script into it, and now I have the best of both worlds. So I really am trying to commit to myself to build more in Flow Designer first. It's just been a tough habit to kick. Ready to update the profile. To ensure all required values are set for a valid pending review state. I am hopeful for this. That is a good indicator. Oh my goodness. That is a fully repaired... This is the first time that we've accomplished this in this series so far. Some of the quirks in prompt engineering combined with my limited skill sets in prompt engineering has made it really difficult for me to get a multi-step fix successfully executed in the AI agent. However, that's exactly what we just accomplished. None of my UI actions do this yet. I do not have a UI action where you can just click to fix and have it run all of the different things. So this is the first time that we have actually accomplished a multi-step fix process in the AI agent. It looked at the profile, it analyzed what needed to be done, and it executed all of the required steps to give us a fully functioning C3 profile. I'm gonna get this to work for London. I'm gonna get this to work for London. I'm so excited right now. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to pull this off, and this is actually, like, I actually have hope that I will be able to fix this. There are still a few other things that I will need to add, and I'm not sure how it will work in exactly, because, for example, you know, you've got certain things where, like, you need to go back to, if I needed to send this back into pending image selection, I have to, like, delete the existing avatar, delete the avatar without background, clear out any finished card images, deleting those attachments that are associated, because otherwise those stubborn attachments can show back up at the worst possible time. So there's a number of other capabilities that I have built into some of these UI actions that are all one-off clicks. But if I could get those wired into the AI agent, I could actually have a one-click full repair. Basically, they just put in an email address and it follows through the required steps and repairs the entire profile. That's kind of nuts. I'm excited. This is cool. Got all the celebrations going on. Hey there, how's it going? Is that Matthias? I hope I got that right. We are actually at time, and I have gotten to the stopping point. I've gotten to a reasonable stopping point. We have managed to rework our prompt from last time into something that would execute all the steps. So, I am actually going to stop only 3 minutes over this time, which is another big success for this live stream, because if you've been watching any of the more recent ones, I've been going over by like 30 and 45 minutes. I wanted to wait a minute just to see if anybody was going to ask a question that would derail me into one of my soapboxes again. But it hasn't happened. So I am going to cut and split really quick. Thank you guys so much for joining. Be sure to look out for our other live streams. We've got live coding Second Breakfast with Christy on Mondays, live coding 11sies with Earl on Wednesdays, and of course check back on Thursdays for live coding afternoon tea with me. And I also saw a post on LinkedIn saying that the unofficial live coding happy hour is coming back, so be sure to take a look for that one. And for what those guys are doing. A lot of cool stuff going on in the community. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.